Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to review Module 6, Week 6. What to expect in some of your responsibilities. But before I do, I want to go over a few housekeeping issues from Week 5. Now you're looking at my screen and you can see what I have here is a tentative list of group members. I said tentative because I could change it before or the end of the 16th. Now my rationale for doing this is because I want you all to be active in this class, and if for some reason I have left out your name, that is, I did not put you in a group, that's by design. I've already given you a heads up notice that I am not going to put anyone in a group who is not active in this class. And there's some of you who are currently registered in this class, but you've submitted nothing. And I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. You getting emails, notifications, and I've stated it right here that if you want me to consider you for the group, we gotta meet in some way. I could change my mind, but if I do not hear from you by the stated deadline here, which is on the 16th, like I said, I won't make any change to the group members, and this would be a permanent list. So I hope you are watching this video. If you are not an active student in this class, this message is particularly for you. Now that said, the group project assignment, everything you need to know about it, I have in the assignments and projects tab. You just need to find a specific folder and you will find all that you need to know. I've reviewed the assignments, I've reviewed my expectations, and so that should be clear. That said, I want us to take a look at the calendar for week 5 because there are some issues that came up that I noticed in your first draft. You will notice in my announcement I made mention of some common thread in the draft that I graded. I would mention, in addition to some of these observations, I should have listed something about an outline, because I received some emails about students saying that they submit an outline, and I also realized that there was a couple of you who submitted an outline, but what you did was submitted brainstorming notes. These are not really outlines. There are specific expectations when you write an outline. If you don't know how to write an outline, look at the textbook. The course textbook has examples. I also gave you a specific, I gave you general instructions, but now on what I expect from an outline. The simplest way to do it is just to, once you finish your draft, give me a sketch of your draft. You can take copy and paste from your draft, but you need to be specific. I don't need to see your entire, just strict copy and pasting. Show me how you arrive at, show me your claims. I need to see your claims in each paragraph, the thesis statement, something about your introduction and conclusion. So it's done in a thoughtful manner rather than you just copying and pasting what you did in your draft, which some of you did. And I didn't take out points at all. If I did take out points, for those of you who I didn't see a draft, it was very minimal, and I did this intentionally. So what I have here is an outline template, and now I show you how a student completed an outline for a literary analysis paper in one of my previous 102 classes. You would notice even in the assignment itself, I stated clearly that you need to submit an outline. So I don't know why some of you just missed that instruction. Either you were not paying close attention, or I really don't know, because I stated everything how your paper needs to look, what it needs to look like, follow MLA format, and what I'm expecting. Since it's a draft, I understand that it's a process, but if you're turning your final draft and I notice I've pointed several things in your paper, in your draft, and you're still repeating them in the final draft, you'll be held accountable. Now, I don't need to see another outline. I just need an outline for your first draft. So that's stated. You must submit an outline. First draft, an outline. But final draft, I didn't say you need to submit an outline. It's up to you if you want to submit one. I'll look at it. I just want to remind you of my expectations, because I understand it takes a lot of reminders for students to remember. And since this is your first essay, I am not surprised that some of you forgot. That said, let's go into week 6, because this is the week where you will get to at least get to know your peers who are your group members. So if you go back into the announcement, and not just the announcement but the assignment and projects tab, those of you who've been placed in a group, you have group leaders, and I have reached out to all group leaders. Fortunately too, I have been able to speak with many of all group leaders, so they have some understanding of what I'm expecting in each group, the readings due to complete, and what I expect in terms of the deliverable. So you all should be in touch with your group leader. Don't wait for them to contact you. You can contact him or her. Okay, so make sure that you make a good faith effort to reach out to your group leaders. If you don't hear from them, then you take the initiative to reach out to them, because as you can see in week 6, you need to turn in a progress report. The progress report, and I've already explained that in my review in the group project, tells me what's the status in your group like. I need to know what's going on. Maybe I need to step in. So this is a good opportunity, because after this week, guess what? It's spring break, and you can, if you want to work on your group project during spring break, maybe meet up somewhere. That's up to you guys. You will have to decide. But when you come back from spring break, you're going to be working on you're going to be presenting later in that week, so in week 8. So this week, week 6, try to get to know who is in your group, have established some communication, just to get the ball rolling. You're not submitting your group project this week, but I hope that you familiarize yourself and get to know who your group member or group members are. Speaking of which, you have discussion board post to turn in, finding an argument. There's one on watering and rods. It's based on the reading Stop Saying I Feel Like. So many students tend to like this article because it speaks about a common phenomenon in today's culture. People are basing things on how they feel, and that's problematic, because if people are basing things on how they feel, how do we know what is true? I often ask students, I say, suppose you turn in the channel 7 or 10 or 10 news, and the newscaster were to say, I feel like the United States is under attack, and I feel like the White House has been destroyed. You wouldn't take that seriously, because that's how they feel. They need to say, I know, I have read, or something like that, or I think it's more stronger. But to say that you feel like something, there is a plane crash, that's just a feeling. It carries little authority, especially when it comes to matters that are very serious. Now, if you're talking about a health issue, that's separate. If it's subjective to you, and you only know your health or yourself better. But if you're talking about the world you live in, and the natural world, and just in contemporary society, we know that I feel like it's become a language that is even a conversational stopper too, to some degree. If you read Covino, in which people are now using that in arguments. So Molly Wharton pushes back against this phenomenon, and she encourages us to stop saying I feel like. It's popular, it's very tempting as well, but there's a reason why people say I feel like, and you get the gist when you read her article. Now you will be learning about argument mapping, and there are various ways to do that. I am going to go into the learning module so you guys can see what I've planned for week 6. So if you look at under week 6, I've got a couple of folders which should guide you. The first one is an argument mapping. Well, I've got some information argument mapping right here, so I encourage you to take a look at all these contents to give you an idea of what I expect what happens when we engage in argument mapping. Then if you click on the folder here, you will find more contents on argument mapping. That's in addition to what I've posted. I encourage you to preview them. You don't have to watch everything. There is a video of an instructor demonstrating argument mapping, so take a look at all these contents. Why did I multiply all these resources? To give you an idea of what I'm expecting. Okay, so but also to keep you informed as well. So there's a way I argument map, and I also show you the way other professionals do it. It's very sophisticated, especially when you're trying to capture a person's arguments, their claims, and their assumptions. And I think it's a very fair way to it's a fair way to do this, especially if you want to be charitable towards an argument or a perspective. First, capture what their point of view is before you go on to critique it, rather than just start critiquing it and just because that's not seeking understanding. You're not acting in good faith. People don't trust you if you don't paint their arguments in the best light. Yeah, so that's that on argument mapping. You've got tons of resources right here. Ethos, logos, pathos. Well, if you're following the course textbook, you have readings on that in week 6. I said on the course calendar that's going to be in page 14 to 19. I have some examples here. These are like activities I do in my in-person class, so you can take a look at some of these activities. Who knows, maybe you'll find it helpful. So make sure you take a look at this. It'll give an idea of how this applies when it comes to commercials, or even about universities, or maybe a car commercials. This has always been there. Okay, so ethos, logos, and pathos is part of society. We use it every day. It's used a lot in advertisement. It's used a lot in commercials for universities and what have you. Okay, so in week 6 you also have another folder I have here, which is argument, reasons, feelings. And there is this famous, it's a funny skit by they call them Monty Python. It's a British comedy skit, but these are full of intellectuals, and they were just talking about an argument. Once you watch the video, the skit, I think you get the gist of the multi-dimensional ways an argument could be defined in different contexts. But I will say this: when I speak of arguments in this class, we're not talking about just fights. We're talking about logical arguments, which you'll be making in your presentations and which you'll be making in your final projects. So there is a perspective about arguments. So the book talks about one, and we will be working to develop a perspective on arguments based on supported evidence and claims. So make sure you understand what is an argument, and remember, in the context of this class, we're talking about logical academic arguments, not arguments that you see breaking out on national TV or maybe on Facebook or Twitter and what have you. Okay, so I have a hyperlink to the assignment project, the group project, so you can access it from week 2. So I just wanted to make this more comfortable for you all to access. You can also go into assignments and projects tab. Let's go into the course calendar once more, just to make sure that I touch base on I've touched on everything that I want to speak. I don't have any other material to review, but I would say this, that when you submit your progress report, ideally I expect the group leader to take care of this. If the group leader has a lot of responsibility, then maybe the group leader, or in consultation with your group, you would decide who gets to write the progress report. But ideally it should be the group leader. You have all you need to know about a group project. My piece of advice to you is to manage your time wisely. While you don't have to get started on the group project immediately, just remember that when you come back from spring break, you have a presentation due towards the end of the week. So if you want to do some of the work during spring break, it's up to you. But at least I expect that you should be previewing the reading by week 6, or at least familiarize yourself with get to know who's in your group, and exchange contact if you have to. And then when you come back from spring break, just know that you'll be prepared, because you are going to be presenting later. Okay, so that concludes my review for week 6 or module 6. I look forward to seeing your posts and also your group progress reports. regarding the group project. Thank you.